Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Healthy Home Tips with Halo. We're out here inspecting a house today and we've got mostly everything right. And I wanted to show you what it looks like. Give you some pointers on your house, explain some things that I found that you may have at your house so that you know what they are, how to keep them happy and healthy so your home stays the way it should be. All right, let's go. For starters, we're going to talk a little bit about the homes that have a very high switch, typically in the laundry room. And those are the homes that have the foam insulation, okay? This guy right here is labeled improperly. It's not your fresh air intake, which some homes do have a mechanical vent on, but this one is the attic vent. And we're gonna show it to you, explain what it does, and how to make sure it's doing its job. So here we are up inside the attic, you guys, and there is your foam insulation on the roof decking, and that's why we have none on the ceiling drywall here. One thing I'd like to show you is this house does have the proper GFCI protection in the attic, which is required now. We do like to see that. The other thing we like to see, if you ever stick your head up in here, when you have your engineered trusses, if any of them have a little red tag on them right there, and you can see that says this area of the framing should be sitting on top of a load-bearing wall. And as you can see, this one is. In certain instances, depending on the building plans, sometimes these can be offset, but if in your attic and you see little red tags, you want to make sure that portion is sitting on top of a wall. It's really nice when you have the insulation on the decking so you can see all your light fixtures, your wiring and stuff, but you want to make sure that any wiring going through the building materials has some draft seal. Typically you can see the orange foam that they use in our area, and you want to make sure you see that. That's what's going to prevent, if there were any fires in this wall, help keep it from spreading into the attic and getting to the rest of the home. Really cool stuff. You're not always going to be able to see the foam. It doesn't always come all the way through, but if you don't, you want to give it a little tug, and if it doesn't move, that typically means it was proper. See? Happy. And here you are at your engineered trusses. The upper cord is going to be covered by the insulation, but your lower cord is down here on the bottom, and then your webbing in between, and everything looks nice and happy on this house, as it should. This right here is not actually happy, but it's a simple repair. You should never have sharp pointed screws with electrical. It should always be the proper blunt end. And also these different types of screws, because they have the coarse thread, it can actually cut and damage the box, as well as that sharp point on the end of these screws can poke the wires. You don't want that. Then here is the air handler up in the attic, nice and level. All the straps are in place. You got your clean out, your vent, nice P-trap. There's your secondary drain line that's not blocked, and the pan is actually clean. Why is that? Because we were already here for their pre-possession inspection, and we made them clean it. And here we go. This is back to that little switch that you saw in the laundry room high up, for those of you that have the foam insulation. This stuff does its job so well at keeping the exterior elements out. It doesn't let anything out as well. And people had kind of forgotten that homes, everything degrades, deteriorates, creates gases, people, products, foods, things like that. So it did have to be evacuated. And then somebody learned that the foam itself does create a hazardous gas that needs to be evacuated. So when you have those little switches in the laundry room, you need to leave it on so that this is properly vented. And every few months or so, have somebody that's qualified get on a ladder and stick their head up here, and you want to see and listen if that little vent is still moving, because it's going to burn out. As you can see, it's the exact same thing as a little bathroom vent, okay? If it burns out, you can get a buildup of those gases you don't want. Now, it's not the biggest deal in our local area. I understand that from a lot of people, but the rules are kind of the rules for reasons. You should have protected the ductwork prior to the foam being installed so that it didn't come in contact with it. This can allow, especially in high humidity areas, condensation buildup inside of these ductworks, which can lead to smells and things like that you don't want over time, that could affect your family and stuff. In other areas, even mildew buildup. There you go, guys. Things that are done right, a little bit of wrong, but simple fixes. Now you know what you're looking for. Simple ways to repair it and keep your home happy and healthy, guys.